Just reflecting on ayah 14.
Yeah.
May Allah not make us enemies of our spouses.
Yeah.
And as much as in our ummah we should be invested in the growth and development and raising of our children, investing in them so that they can become members of the community that can serve Allah in our ummah. How do we also ensure that we can also support our spouses to also reach their potential and amplify their strengths? Essentially what I mean is, how do we ensure that instead of becoming enemies, how do we become friends to our spouses and also invest in their growth and nurturing their well-being as much as our children?
That's a really, really great question. I think that my view on this is maybe not Quran inspired entirely. It's experiential, so I'm going to qualify it as such. I will tell you that we have a traditional definition of what a marriage should look like, right? And in that, the wife plays a supporting role to the husband, and she's taking care of the husband and the kids, and the husband's out there taking care of the world or doing big things, etc., etc. I think that that's a general template. I don't think that's a requirement. I do believe that the support that a husband and a wife give each other can be negotiated and should be negotiated, but it should be done before the marriage. Like, you walked into something with a certain set of expectations, and you can't just go around changing the entire expectations and say the other person should be totally okay with it unless they're mutually arriving at something, right? So I think those kinds of very open conversations, because our daughters, our sisters, they may have aspirations of their own, and they may be a little more than making biryani, slightly, right? So, and then what happens to them? I can speak about the South Asian culture because I'm from Pakistan and I saw it with my own eyes. Millions of girls are being encouraged to go to medical school so they become better candidates for marriage, not because they're going to be doctors ever. They're actually not. They're never going to see the inside of a hospital. They're just going to, make food. But they get the guy's family gets to say, we married somebody with a good degree. So it's a qualifier for what to them is the highest purpose, which is marriage, right? And then what happens to these women, these victims, is that because you took any other purpose away from their lives, then the only purpose left is what new shoes came out this Eid or what new outfits came out, and then there are fights happening in the mall of these educated women that are fighting over outfits and over who had what for their dinner and who went to which restaurant and which picture on Instagram looked better. So their world became so petty and small because it was forced on them that they live in this psychological jail cell. I don't think that men or women can function in a healthy way if they don't have something bigger in their life than themselves. I don't think it's possible. Maybe it was possible at some point in history, but I don't know if it's generally possible now. And maybe it's still possible in some villages. I don't know. That's all they know, and that's fine. That's their world. But I don't think in the modern world, anywhere, whether it's Indonesia, Pakistan, whether it's Australia, whether it's England, doesn't matter. Wherever Muslims are, I don't think it's possible for someone to get married after having acquired an education. And I personally don't recommend women just go into the workforce and do the 9-to-5 and all of that. My philosophy, again, is unconventional. My view of this is husbands should have the crux of the financial responsibility, but they should be encouraging and even compelling their wives to either start a business, start their own venture, do something that is more than just themselves, or be part of work part-time in some kind of productive environment. But we should be creating economic engines using our wives and our mothers and our daughters, because they are more than half the workforce. And they've always been. Women worked on the farm. Women worked by the well. Women in the Quran, women are taking care of the sheep. That in the case of Musa alayhi salam, right? So it's not like women are supposed to be confined away from the rest of society. And even Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam married someone who was supporting the mission, Khadija radiallahu ta'ala anha. And she's not the only example. There are plenty of others, right? But the point that I'm making is if we have this myopic view of what an Islamic marriage looks like, and the Islamic marriage is the woman should never leave the home and she should never do this, and she needs to just be a good mom and a good wife, then those ladies are going to spend hours and hours of their day either changing diapers or watching Instagram, and it's going to mess with their head, and that craziness that you're putting them in is going to come out in your life, and you're going to be losing your mind because you've created a psycho and you drove them psycho. And you guys know, some of you, your parents are retired, right? And when your dads retire, they drive you insane unless you give them something to do. You better give them something to do. And if you go to any masjid, if you see the older retired men, they're always the angriest people, and they're the ones that go, they were from Ambo. You know, he'll go after the khutbah, he'll go to the imam and give him a khutbah. You know, that's what he's gonna do. Because men know that if you lose something bigger to work on, something more purposeful, it starts driving you mad. And why would you think that that's not the case for women also? And you're saying, no, but they should be raising the kids. Absolutely, they should be raising the kids. So should the men. And while raising the kids, I know women that were teaching in university, working, starting businesses, while raising both of their kids, taking them to their office with them. They're giving a lecture in the university with a baby strapped to them. Like, there's women that can be warriors, man. That's fine. They can do it. They could totally do it. And we should encourage that. We should encourage that mentality. I don't think you have to choose between a home life and a meaningful life. But I also do think that if the husband is stuck with or working on, you know, paying the bills, right? Then and that's taken care of. Now maybe the wife can also be used, because she's free. So instead of just saying she should just have a job for the sake of having a job, or just be another cog in some capitalist machine, maybe she should do something that's actually truly meaningful. And, you know, maybe she can write something. Maybe she can publish something. Maybe she can start some kind of a new socially responsible entrepreneurial venture that brings benefit to the community, to the society. It's not just more income coming into the household, but there's an opportunity for us to actually get creative and to expand the goodness in our societies with that with that spouse, you know, and to do that together, even do it on the weekends, do something like that, you know. That's the kind of thing that I think should be happening. Yeah.